Talking Luther College football with head coach Aaron Hafner. And coach, you go up to Northfield, got a 20-3 victory on Saturday. Late in the second half, the game turned in your favor. The fourth down goal line stand for your defense when you were leading 7-3. Take us through that sequence. What made your defense, or how were you able to rise to the occasion defensively there?
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job and had good schemes. And, football is all about matchups, and they did a good job stopping the run in the first half for sure. And, they had a good game plan on offense, and they kind of nickel and dimed us down the field and, throwing the bubble and doing some things. And I think our kids, once they got down there, their game plan was limited, so then they had to come up with something, and our kids made a great goal line stand there to, that was a big key moment of the game. And, and then we had a punt to get out of there and just continued to fight, and our kids just improved throughout the game.
Turnover ratio, you were positive 2 for the first time, or second time in your era here. First time you didn't have a turnover for the program in 26 games. How big was that Saturday?
Well, it is. I mean, we talk about it all the time. In the first game we turned the ball over twice, and it led to a couple scores. So not turning the ball over and hanging on the football, especially with as much as we run the ball, that's going to be obviously have a huge impact as we move forward into the season.
You struggled with the running game largely due to St. Olaf's defense in that first half. What made it work for you in the second half?
Oh, we just made a couple adjustments. I mean, they had a good scheme, and I think it's just like anything else. I mean, we tell our kids we have to win the third and fourth quarter. We have to wear our opponent down, and we did that. I mean, we made some minor adjustments at halftime, and just our kids bought into it, and we wore them out. We had a really good couple drives there in a row and got back on track.
And special teams, you did have the blocks extra point, but all in all, that had to grade out pretty well on Saturday.
Yeah, that was a key aspect of it. I mean, field position, and John Cochran did a great job punting the other day, and we had it wasn't a block punt, but it was going to be if he didn't drop. So yeah, special teams were key. Our kickers are doing a good job kicking the ball off in our coverage, and we have a lot of young kids that are playing on our special teams, and when you can take your starters off of special teams and you have these really hungry young kids that are just playing special teams, the effort that you see, in that phase of the game is huge.
You've gotten a couple of victories equaling the win total already from last season. How much confidence have you built in these first couple of weeks?
Well, I think that's huge right now. I mean, I think our kids we're just a year improved. I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, they understand what our expectations are in all aspects of our program, and I think we do have a lot of confidence right now, and our kids are playing really, really hard. I mean, that's the big thing. If you can get a group of guys to work as hard as they are, and the coaches and everybody else, it just all works. And you can see our kids are having a lot of fun right now, and it's always more fun to win, obviously, and that we need to carry that over into this week against Grinnell.
And when you look at the 2 wins, obviously there's still stuff to improve on. How do you keep the focus on smoothing out the rough edges to this point?
Well, I mean, we're still playing a lot of kids. We haven't just solidified our starting lineup. We told the kids and our coaching staff, we want to go into the bye week next week and start, really solidifying our starting 11 on each side of the ball and getting our special teams, really those guys that are going to be on there, just, everything after this weekend will be solidified. We still have some jobs up for grabs, which creates us a great deal of competition in practice and in the games and things like that.
At the same time, are you deeper than you were 2 weeks ago?
I think so. I mean, I think that's, when you're playing a lot of guys in game time experience, you're just creating depth, and anytime you can get those live snaps, just us, throwing Damon Stroop in late in the game the other day, just to see him come off the field and say, man, that happens really fast. Well, that's why you put him out there, to make sure that they have those game experience, so if they do have to go in, they're ready to go.
And that's one thing this year. You got a couple of JV games, from what I understand, to help build some reps for those guys. How important is it to give those guys some game experience against someone besides yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. This Sunday is going to be our first JV game at La Crosse, and we expanded our roster by almost 20 guys. Last year we had 75. We're well over 90 now, and it's one of those things where it gives them an opportunity to go hit somebody else and not just be the scout team guy all the time. But at the same time, they get to go run our plays, and we get to evaluate them. And through all this, JV games and things like that, we'll find a couple players that can play for us this year, and it's just helping us going into the future, them understanding our system as well.
Back home this weekend, you take on Grinnell. First of all, let's talk about Military Appreciation Day. Going to be a fun day at Carlson Stadium, honoring the people that serve this country. How did this day come to be?
Yeah, it was just one of those things. We sat down with our seniors and said, hey, let's do something really special this year. And they said, hey, we'd really like to do military appreciation. So we're going to break out some alternate jerseys, a little camo jersey, and it'll be a lot of fun. I have my grandparents and stuff are in the military, and as are a lot of our players' parents and grandparents and things like that. So, it hits home, with how appreciative we need to be for those people. And so we're just going to do a small ceremony before the game and honor them. And the whole day's set up to just honor our military, how proud we are of them and thank them for their service for our country.
And Grinnell is going to be the opponent this weekend. What do you expect out of the Pioneers?
Yeah, they only have one game under their belt, so we only have one game to evaluate. So they lost a close one to Beloit last week, and so a little bit unknown on how they're going to defend the option and things like that, because it is a new opponent. But they're going to throw the ball around a little bit, and again, we're going to see a type of defense that defends the run very well. So we'll have to be ready to go Saturday afternoon, and Coach Peterson will do a good job and bring his kids in here ready to go.
All right, Coach, hopefully we can talk about win number 3 next week. We wish best of luck.
Thank you.
Aaron Hafner talking Luther College football.